Man, well, he just brings some toughness to our side of the ball, and you know, he's very trustworthy, and you know, it's good to have a very smart player, because then you can kind of be a little bit creative with your schemes, and you don't have to worry about guys missing assignments, because you know, he's a big focal point, you know, in our run game and in some of the personnel groupings and the formations. So that's been very, very pleasant to have him there, man, because, you know, like I said, when you have to go over things, you only have an hour and 45 minutes of practice out there. And so, you know, if you have to keep going over things over and over and over because a guy has a hard time getting it, you don't get to work on all the other aspects of your game. So that's probably the biggest thing. And then, you know, the toughness factor. No, you know, we kind of always wanted to have an H-back, I guess you'd call him, a hybrid guy, which, you know, he kind of falls in that category a little bit. You know, I don't know if you'd want to see Nick with his hand on the ground as a tight end, but all of the off-the-ball stuff, I think that he could handle that, you know, that our tight ends handle. And just, you know, you could be a little more creative with your schemes, your formations and things you're trying to do, disguise things with a guy like that, so he's very valuable. No, he's doing good. He's doing good. You know, Tommy's a tough guy, fun to be around, loves football, just an all-around great dude. We love him on our side of the ball, and he's I watched some of his clips from last year's game against Colorado, and then just, you know, watching him now and his progression it's been great to see. And he loves Arizona State football, and just he is so all in, man. And so it's great to be around him every day. Yeah. You know, I've known Mike. He's one of my best friends, McIntyre. We coached together at Temple. I've been around him for a long time, and he's a really, really good coach, and he's going to be very, very prepared. He's a cut above in that area, all the other coaches. So I know that we're going to get a team that's going to be very well coached, very well schooled on defending what we have put on film already. You know, and then so, you know, we got to do a good job of, just because they know it's coming, we still have to be able to execute at a high level. But the biggest thing about Colorado is they're going to be ready to play, and I mean, it's really hard to get them on things where, you know, other teams, maybe the defensive backs or the linebackers get their eyes messed up looking into the backfield when they're supposed to be covering somebody. They do a phenomenal job of not giving you those little gifts sometimes out on the football field. You know, I thought last week, and he'll tell you the same, you know, I think he did after the game. You know, he wasn't very pleased with his performance. I think he can play better, and, you know, I know he was kind of sick, but he'll be the first one to tell you that he doesn't use that as an excuse. So, you know, and I think it stemmed from that first ball, you know, that he kind of missed, and you know, it kind of took him just maybe a little bit to get over that. Me too. But but we had a good laugh over it, man. After you win, you can have a good laugh over that. So, you know, I think his mind's in the right place. And but you know, we talked about it, and definitely weren't pleased walking off the field with the past game production of the last game. We thought we could have done better, and so, you know, I think he's going to have a good effort this week. You know, I think that they're old enough guys, and Coach Christensen, you know, keeps them grounded, that they got to understand that, you know, Oregon State, they're in a tough place right now in their building process. And I've been there. I know what that's like. So this is going to be a totally different type of game. I think our kids know that. Things aren't going to, like, it's not going to be, I don't want to use the word easy because nothing is ever easy in football, man. But it's just not going to be like it was Saturday, Colorado is just at a different place right now in their program. I mean, they won the Pac-12 South, 2 years ago? I mean, so they're kind of there, and they just kind of wanted just to regroup, and then they're back at it again. They're going to make a run for it again. So it's just a different type of team. But any time that you break a school record and you do the points and the yards and all that stuff, it's got to give you some confidence. But also, I think they understand, and they're realists too, about what we're about to face and the gauntlet we're about to hit here in the next several games. Yes, sir. Yeah, and like I said in the post-game interview, when we were at the hotel Friday night and then Saturday morning, we talked a great deal as a team, just the offense together, about all of the hard work that we put in, the week of practice that we had, and I just kind of believe in a man will reap what he sows, and I just believe that, and I told them that you guys you're in a position to deserve to reap a harvest, this game. All the hard work you've put in. The Washington week, it was amazing, the kids, how hard they practiced. And we kind of knew we were going to, lack of a better word, go off, you know what I mean? And that's what the kids' mindset was, and, and just all the players on offense. Oh yeah, I mean that was going to be our game plan. We saw some things on film, Ohio State and Arizona, that fit into our schemes as well, and we knew that we felt like we could have some success. Now you never know how much success, but we felt like we could have some success in those areas, and then we just kind of stomped the mud out of a mud hole, man. That's just what you do when you get them on the run. Yeah. You hope so. Yeah, you hope so. Absolutely. That's a good question. That's your natural progression, is to build a play action, bootleg, misdirection off of a good run game. Absolutely. We're working on it. We'll see. We're trying to work on it. The play action passes and things like that, a lot of times. So here's what happens when you start running the ball. People are going to do, basically, if they get in one high, then they're either going to go man, all right, or they're going to go cover three. Well, I've always believed that that's great. You can run the ball. Hey, let's get them into man coverage. Well, if you can't beat man coverage, then you just kind of, that worked against you a little bit. You know what I mean? So that's the challenge that I make to, our receivers and everything. When you see man coverage, man, we got to beat man coverage. And to me, we haven't in some areas, and that was the challenge that we talked to them about this week, that we got to start. If people are going to bring people into the box and go 8 guys in the box, we got to make them pay with the pass game and the play actions and the bootlegs and movements and things like that, and we got to start doing that right away. They get in the 50 front, kind of. A little bit like Washington. Yeah, a little bit like Washington, and they're just as well coached and all of that stuff, and so it's going to be quite a challenge. Yep. Yeah, I thought that didn't think he played his best games against San Diego State for sure. I thought he did a little bit better against Washington. Then I think he played really good against Oregon State, and he practiced really well the Oregon State week. And so looking for that same thing, and whenever you can kind of get him like out on the run a little bit on some pulls, I think it helps him out a little bit, because he's confident about his athletic ability and things like that. So the last 2 weeks he's improved. Yeah, it is good because it's a healthy competition, because they, you know, they're like brothers. You know, they can get mad and talk junk and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, they're not out there being stupid, trying to hurt each other either. Like, it's a really good professional type, you know, competition when they go against each other. And one of the cool things that I saw all through camp was, you know, if Chase got beat on a route, he would come back and he would say, hey, what are you doing right there? And he would go, well, the reason I got you is because you did this. And they talk back and forth to each other, and like, and Chase will do the same thing. Hey, you're tipping your route on doing this right here. I knew you were going to do this because of, you know, how you lined up and all that stuff. So they're also learning from each other, which I think is pretty cool.